talking about Asake, we're talking about Tems, and we're talking about Rema. Each of these guys headlined the show yesterday. Asake took over New York at the Madison Square Garden, sold out show. Tems took over Atlanta as well, at the Coca Cola Roxy. And we also have the Prince of Afrobeat. Rema also had a homecoming show in Benin City, Nigeria, where he had to connect back with his root. It was, I think, yesterday was very important for the culture and solidifies this three artists as the new generation big three. So first up, let's talk about Ashake. Ashake obviously sold out Madison Square Garden. He's been selling out. Ashake is like one of the new generation artists that he's not scared of, pointing at these arenas and saying, I want to go to this arena. This is the arena I want to sell out next. We're talking about an artist that started just few years ago, getting to this standard where he can point at Madison Square Garden and say, this is where I want to sell out, and he actually goes and sells it out. That shows the level of fame, international fame, that he has risen to. And one thing is that Shaka also have the ability to captivate, his audience with obviously his stage presence, his stage performance, and it's definitely nothing short of impressive. And when we look at Ashake's journey, from obviously the local performance when he started within the first year that he started, and the international milestone that he has attained right now. More like it's a story worth telling. You can see the determination. You can also see that Ashake, he's evolving, from changing his looks, tweaking his music a little bit, but still maintaining the core value, the core Yoruba language. It's something that you just can't ignore. Then there is Thames. Thames obviously took over Atlanta by storm, and her show was sold out. I saw the videos of her show at the Coca-Cola Roxy, and I was just smiling because yesterday was, I don't know if people noticed it, but yesterday just proved again and again and again that Afrobeat is in indeed safe hands. These three artists, they've got us. When we talk about moving the genre to another level, they've got us, and they proved it yesterday. Talking about the show in Atlanta and how special it was, you could see people in the crowd, connecting with her. And Thames is one artist that has really focused on her international audience so much. And then we're talking about Rema. Look at what Rema did, celebrating a major milestone. And what a way to celebrate that milestone, showing up for his homecoming concert at the Bomodia Stadium in Benin City, Nigeria. For me, I think the stadium show was just like a landmark of Rema's achievement. Especially considering like his international success that he's had, hit songs like Calm Down featuring Selena Gomez. He's gone on to have features with Ice Spice. He has an unreleased song with Drake. You can see that he's gone, but he's one person that still is very deeply rooted in his culture, and that keeps him going, right? And the homecoming show, it obviously shows that he's somebody that values Afrobeats, that value the culture, the music, where the music actually originates from, where he got the inspiration from, right? So now let's move on from this. Let's go right into talking about the competition between these three. The question that's been on everyone's mind, all of the fans' mind, is like, who's gonna claim that vacant spot, the fourth spot? Who is gonna claim it? Rema has already made claims to it. He doesn't shy away from that. He's letting you know that he's part of the big four. He's aimed it. Obviously, he didn't shy away from that, you know. And another thing I would like to point out is obviously Thames. If you guys notice, Thames has been missing a big four conversation. She's been missing, and for me, we already know that Thames is like a big global sensation right now, right? But I think her focus really is often like outside Nigeria, but obviously maintaining like a strong connection with Nigeria and the Nigerian fan base is very, very important. you know, because Nigeria is the heart of the music. Nigeria is the heart of the Afrobeat genre. So if you want to be part of the top four conversation, you have to tilt towards the Nigerian fan base and connect with your root. You know, to be without connecting and having like this big, robust fan base in Nigeria, you know, it's I mean, I feel like it's very essential to be able to connect with the fan base in Nigeria to be able to help push that narrative and celebrate your achievements. But for terms, one thing I noticed, despite the show that was they all had yesterday, most people didn't even know Thames had a show because she lacked the fan base in Nigeria, which is obviously a problem because she's definitely missing out of conversations. And for her, she probably doesn't care because she looks at the numbers, she look at the money rolling in, and she feels like, you know what, who needs Nigeria when I'm still making the money? But put in mind, you can have all the success in the world, but if you don't have people that directly connect with you back home, you would come back to Nigeria and feel empty. She came back to Nigeria to do Love Me Jeje. You know, if Thames actually had more connections back home, she would have loved the experience more than she did. I know she obviously there's no artist that will come to Nigeria that wouldn't love Nigeria and love the vibe they're going to get from the fans, but not compared to the ride or die fans that the likes of Rema and Asake have. You know, talking about Rema, who has been pronounced as the Prince of Afrobeat, sealed and signed. I can say and I can see he's living up to the title, you know. His homecoming obviously shows again that he's also maintaining the connections with his root, you know, and despite his international success, he still decided to say, you know what, I'm going to pause whatever international goals I have right now, dish out the sophomore album that's mainly focused on Nigeria, that's most mainly focused on my fans. His ability to be able to draw this crowd from the home front, and I feel like it highlights his authenticity, and it also shows his strength that he's getting from his local support back home. Now, Ashake, obviously, there is no doubt his success and his evolution is something that people should talk more about and learn from. You know, new artists have to learn from him. The way he rose from fame, like Ashake is a moving train. That is what I consider him to be. And so far, he's broken international boundaries with his tours from the O2 to the Madisons. He's doing the O2 again. Bruh, this guy is like, do I call him a chameleon? But or water, because his ability to transform and adapt, I think, is what has really kept him relevant. It's also what has kept him to being celebrated as well. At the end of the day, let's just round this up, right? Whether Shakir, whether Thames, whether Rema, I don't think there is any competition here. There may be, of course, there is a competition, but I feel like these artists are redefining Afrobeat scene. Right now, they are shaping what Afrobeat is going to be in the next 10, 15, 20 years. With every single stage that they step on, they are changing how Afrobeat will be defined and seen. I mean, despite fan war and competition, which they are obviously going to be fan war, this is what makes the music interesting. This is what makes the genre grow and the artists grow as well. You know, I think each of them are actually bringing something unique to the table. They are. From Thames to Rema to Ashake, they are obviously bringing something very, very unique to the table that we haven't seen before. Listen, this is history right in front of our eyes, you know? And I think that their success obviously just underscore the dynamic nature of the genre. And I think it's important for all of the artists because, like I said, I noticed Thames is really not focused on the home front. I think it's very important for all of the artists to be able to balance, you know, both their international appeal with their strong local root. Rema obviously is doing that. Ashake is doing that. In fact, Ashake sings in Yoruba. Like he connects to the root.